Hello, it's Caroline from The Love of Crochet. I have quite a few crocheting makes to share with you today. I'm so excited. I have been blessed with lots of time to crochet and I've really been focusing on my crochet. I don't know, it's just comforting. Sewing, I've taken a little bit step back ever since I'm gonna be a grandma. So I have quite a few makes, and of course with crochet, I'm always cleaning, and you probably can't tell from here, but it is a mess in here on the daily, every time, every day. I just leave my trails of all my projects and it just gets crazy in here. But I do have lots to share, tons. So let's get started. And this isn't in any particular order, but here is the first one. So if you remember, I was trying to make granny square shorts for my son, and one of the squares that I was presenting to him were these very beautiful black cotton yarn, like a DK weight or DK weight with the gray flower and yellow center. And I was asking my son if he would like this made out of his shorts, and I was really wanting this one because of course it was only going to be two color changes, not a lot of ends. But what he ended up choosing was a very colorful square. So I went through the bag with all the squares that I had made samples with, and I had just enough to make this zippered bag, which I have been dying to try. Now, these are those zippers that you can get at Hobby Lobby, and they have these little holes in them already. It's like a lace. I didn't do all of the holes. You could see I left the center one, and I'm able to, or you're able to, I got these with the intent, I don't know what video that was, but I got those for the intent of being able to crochet a bag and have a zipper bag with it. And I was watching Crochet Cavalier. She is a new crochet channel, and she had a video that went viral, and I happened to see that one. And she also made one of these based off another designer. She was using leather zippers, and when I saw her leather zipper, it reminded me of my zippers that I already had, and so I decided to make one. Well, it is kind of hard to figure out how many loops you're going to need to attach it. And if you see, mine got a little off. It's not very clean. The little extra hole wants to pop through on a couple of them, but for the most part, it's pretty tight. Anyway, I did it. And I did put some things in it just so you could see everything. And I did line it as well. This is that. I got these from the Bella Coco crochet boxes when she was in charge, when she was leading it. I know she sold it, so I don't know who does it now, but this was one of them. It was really cute. And then I had a little bunny in here that I made. I love making my bunnies. And then I had made these little like a Christmas ornament, a little beanie with a pom-pom. And these were because I wanted to get rid of some yarn. So, I grab my scraps and I start making something. And I made another one too. So, little beanie. You can tell that bottom is just a little too big for it. So, for the brim. Anyway, that's that. And then I have this little cat I made a long time ago. Chronically Crocheting. She has this little pattern, and it's a cat, and I believe it's a no-sew. Yeah, it's a no-sew, I think. Cute little kitty cat. And I used a very colorful yarn. And this is the zipper. So you can get these for 99 cents, and I believe this one is 7 inches. And I get it at Hobby Lobby. They have it in 2 sizes. And then I lined it But the way that I lined it is I made a T for the crochet squares, and then I just folded my fabric in the T. So you can kind of see, here's the T, and then there's the bottom. And of course, I crocheted some extra rows to get the stitch count, but I got close enough and just said, I'll wing it. And it did end up getting just slightly pointier on this side and less pointier on this side. But other than that, I mean, I think it came out great. It's, you know, it doesn't have a handle. I think it benefit from a little handle here. So you would have to put one in the seams. And also, if you make one of these, crochet your squares so that the join is on the outside, because it helps give it that structure. I actually joined mine together on the inside and realized, oh, it's going to stand so much better and keep its shape if I do the joins on the outside. It's like giving it a form and a skeleton. So that's what I did. I took out, and it sits nicely. And then of course I could fit all that stuff in here. It's quite roomy. You could probably fit a ball of yarn in here. Not Hobby Lobby. But all this stuff fit in here. So that is my first make. So I'm able to get rid of those squares from sitting in a stash, and now it's a bag. Okay, and on to more Granny Square project. So this one I'm constantly utilizing because I love it so much, and I think it makes such an excellent gift for any time of the year. So for Christmas, for birthdays, for Easter, for anything, because it depends on what you fill it with. And that is Joy in a Jar. So I love doing this because I am constantly recycling these. You know, when you buy pasta sauce, I'm buying it every grocery trip practically. It's on the grocery list. And so I always have these jars, and I am using cotton yarn. And then of course, there's the bottom. So I didn't close up the center on this one. I just wanted to give it a lift so that when you pick it up, it wouldn't slide. And I have filled these things with lollipops and candies and soaps and all kinds of good stuff. So I think this really makes a sweet little gift. Such a good gift. I think it's great. You can put these on a shelf and they just look stunning. Put bookmarks in here, lip glosses, makeup. So this is your idea for Christmas in July, you know. I think it's a great idea. Maybe I'm alone. Let me know if you think this is such a cool idea. This is the old one that I have. This is the one that I kept for myself, and this is using Shepshes Katona cotton. And this one I did a little more scrappy. I just love it. I just love it. And this one's a smaller jar. I don't know if this was a jelly jar, and this is my pasta jar. So I really love those ideas. Okay, now I'm just pulling stuff out of my box as I see it. This is not going to be in any order, but I am a sewer, and if you are a sewer, you know that your foot pedal will slide if it's not secured. Here's mine. So here's my foot pedal for my machine right here, and it is constantly sliding because when we're pushing on it and pushing on it, it just slides. It does. And I have not met a foot pedal that has a grip on the bottom that actually stays. Well, I found these at Hobby Lobby, and it came in a 2-pack. And I think they come in different colors. And of course, I love my brights. So this is a silicone mat. What it is intended for is a hot plate. So you can put it on your table or whatever. So it's a silicone, and it's quite thick, but not so thick. I have put this under my foot pedal for my sewing machine and it has not budged. So if you want a cute little hack, get your little silicone mat. Maybe you'll find one at the Dollar Tree, but this was like $3, $3.79 or something. And I got 2 of them. So I have one for this machine and one for my other machine. I thought it would be good to have 2 because I don't usually use the foot pedal on this one. I usually just use a button. But I can take this with me if I take my machine, because even when I go sew somewhere, it's just nice not to have my foot pedal get away from me and then I'm trying to look for it. So this is a lovely hack for your foot pedal sewing machine. I guess I'll stick with the Hobby Lobby haul. Prices have gone up so much recently in my local sewing shop. So I took a look at my Hobby Lobby. Now, I always look at my Hobby Lobby, but since I take classes at my local sewing shop, I just tend to get some stuff there. And of course, they're going to have all the great quality items. Well, I found this fabric at Hobby Lobby in the fat quarter, where they hang them. And these chickens are just so adorable. And they're just so cute. I just love them. So I got this, and this feels lovely. The fabric feels awesome. And it was $1.50. And you can't get a fat quarter at any local sewing dealer and fabric for $1.50. They have them on sale. They are not $1.50. So I'm really pleased about that. And then I have been so strong in my color palette, very bold and bright, and I love it, but I also admire other people's palettes who are so much toned down. And so in my challenge to myself to tone down, I did pick up this little lovely pack for $5. Again, you wouldn't be able to find this, and it's a fat quarter bundle. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fat quarters. And these colors are just so beautiful. They're not dark black, but they have some contrast with grays and whites in them. And I just thought, oh, that even looks good together. That looks good. So I got those to help me tone down. Okay, here's one more sewing item. So I recently saw a YouTube video and she was using one of the what are they called? Decorative stitches that look like a scallop. And I made a bread bowl and I needed to make a napkin for it. And so I decided to give that technique a try. It is not for the faint of heart because it requires some very good cutting skills. Let me just show you it all put together first. Here is my bread bowl, and that is the little napkin I went with. I shouldn't say napkin, but towel or, yeah, napkin. So cute. Now again, this is a great little gift too. This is part of the book Zigzag Sewing. I'll put a picture of it here and I'll link it. It's an Amazon purchase and this is one of the projects. And I've made one of these before and I gifted it to my aunt. But this one, I wanted to be able to put like muffins in and I just thought, well, isn't this fabric so cute? Well, here is the scalloped edge on the end, but hers was way bigger. So I wonder what stitch she used because on my sewing machine, my Janome, this was as big as I got. And hers seemed a little more curvy and pushed out. I will link her video down below, but I really liked this edging on it. And I made it long so that way I could fold over my towel if I wanted to keep the sweets or treats or donuts or muffins. And wouldn't that be another excellent gift? So, love this. Love it, love, love, love it. I'm glad I was able to give it a try, but I was cleaning out my closet. I just have all these ideas and all these projects waiting for me, and instead of doing them, my projects ideas keep piling, and then I have all the projects that I have started and I put them down to start new things. So I'm constantly in a battle of I have so much to do, what do I do? So I really like this idea of this basket. Take it out so you could see all the little corners here, so you could put your towel through. And I suppose if you slit your towel in half, you could probably tie a little knot. It'd be really cute. So that is another project that I was able to clear out of my closet. If you watched last week, you had known I had done this little bag pattern, and I think it's very hard to see the design, but you can see some diamonds in the design. But because of the yarn I chose, it's not easy to see. Oh well, I'm sorry. It is a great pattern. And I finished the handle. So I ended up figuring it out. I used some little hardware that I got at the Amazon. It comes with a pack of these little D-rings and these little clips, and then this slider buckle. So this can make it longer or shorter, and you can wear it over or not, and it's so cool. I didn't line this one because it is so, there's no holes in it and no pen is even going to fit through there. So I think it is safe to keep it not lined. And I finished it. I did the handle, and I'm so happy that I finally figured it out. So that will hopefully, maybe I'll send it to my son, because it was his friend that was wanting a crochet bag. The second crochet bag leading off of wait, did I show it? I'm pretty sure I showed it. It's Brianna K Designs, and she made this hexagon bag that I just loved. Now, the colors are not what I would probably make this out of. I know I wouldn't make this out of, but I'm using the yarn that I have. And here is, I'm taking off the strap. I lined it because this one is very holy, because it has the kind of a little bit of a granny stitch holes in it, and I lined it. Now, nothing is going to fall out of this bag, because I wonder what can fit in here. Let's see if I can fit all my fabric. So you can fit your fabric, all this big pack. Let's see if I could get it in here. Okay, so I fit the fat quarter bundle in there. This bag is sturdy. I would suggest making it out of cotton because it doesn't stretch, but this is pretty fat. But you're only going to fit your essentials in here. So your lip gloss, your makeup, your powder, your cards, your phone, your keys, and that is about it. It's going to hold your essentials. And I didn't make a strap for it yet. So this is one that I had ordered off Amazon a long time ago, and I don't think it goes. But I just wanted to show you with the handle, because I'm not going to make the way that this is designed. If you're doing it in cotton, it has a very nice stitch to hold your bag, but you can get any strap at Hobby Lobby or Dollar Tree. This one, on the other hand, this one does not have a slider buckle to make it shorter or longer. So I'm just stuck with this length. So that's why I didn't use it, because it's a little long on me. It does fit at a nice spot. So if you see this one online, I think it was like $8. I wasn't able to be moved up and down. I didn't choose this one. I should have sent it back because it is something I want. But I finished this. I finished lining it. That was a challenge. It was a super challenge because of this little opening. But I did it. So that is done. A sewing project is next. So this is a sewing project by Sally Tomato. It is called, I don't know what the pattern is called. I'll put the name of it right here. I think it's a great pattern, but I found another one that I had completely forgot about because it was really popular a few years ago. And when I saw this one come out, this one just made sense because my daughter's in school. And it is this water bottle bag. This fits, oh, my water bottle's here. This is a ginormous one, but it fits smaller ones. I found this pattern to be very challenging though. I thought it would be easy. So you just slip it in, and then this little strap goes through your handle so that you can drink it. I love this. I do love the bag though. I'm going to take it out so I can show you. So it it requires a lot of hardware, and this project bag is so small that it is very hard to design. I found it fiddly. And it requires a lot of hardware if you do this little bag. Obviously, you don't have to do this bag, and you could just use this. And there's no pocket on this, but you could attach a D-ring or something if you wanted to hang something on it. And this was the pain. This little circle bottom is the hardest thing to sew. Such a pain. I went with all black, and then this little shoulder strap, and then this little bag has hardware here. It has a zipper here, and then it has a zipper here. So you can put, I didn't line it. It's so fiddly. I also didn't use the correct fabric that's recommended, and the fabric that's recommended has a backing on it that you don't have to attach a lining to it. But because I used cotton and bosal, I don't know, it's a thick foamy stuff. I had to use lining, but I didn't bring enough fabric, so I just skipped it there because I didn't care. And you could fit a phone in here, and you can fit another little lip gloss, whatever in there, cards. So it's really cute. This is one of those Hobby Lobby zippers with the little lace. Okay, so I made that because my daughter carries her water bottle around everywhere we go, and I thought it would be good for traveling, for parks, theme parks, and school, sports, whatever. But I was going to make one for each of my kids, but I guess they're not interested. Too girly maybe, but I wouldn't have made this. And of course I would have made different fabric, but they wouldn't carry it, they said. So I was going to make these as Christmas gifts, and I'm not sure I will now, but that is something I made, and I think it's very cool, but super challenging. It's not one I look forward to sewing. So there's that. Back to some crochet. I'm super excited about this one. This is something that I was working on. It was a blanket. I was working out of this book, Crochet Animals. I was doing this little fox because I'm going to be a grandma and a little baby is going to be born in fall. And so I wanted to make the fox. I finished it. It is so cute. So beautiful. And I love this border. It's so darling. Now this blanket is easy if you use these. I used these little bobbin things to wind up. And this book does such a good job to tell you what color you need. I don't think it tells you how much to wind up, but it tells you how many to wind up. And I had extra on both, so apparently I did more than I needed. But what I was noticing is I didn't know what this little slant was for, but in retrospect, now that I'm all done with it, when you turn your work, all these bobbins get, mixed up. And I think that this would have clipped on my project if I attached it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what this is for. Do you all know what that is for? Or maybe it's just to keep the yarn, but I think with this little hole, I could have attached it to my project so that way when I turned it, it wasn't getting all tangled. So let me know if you know about those. That's what I was thinking I could do that for. But I'm so happy I'm done. This is easy, but it is time consuming because of these little details. They're not hard, but they take time to sew on. We sewed this all around. We sew the ears on. It's so cool. I love how they did a crab stitch around here to make them pop, but that's still sewn on. I just loved it. And the border that they gave just was so beautiful. All of these are little picots and they are so nice. I love the border. So I think this is an excellent gift, baby shower, Christmas, and market. But they're very time consuming. I don't know how much you would charge for something like this. But I very much enjoyed it. Very, very much enjoyed it and love the outcome. It's gorgeous, so gorgeous. I'm making all the things. I'm so excited. Little baby blessing coming this fall, right before the holidays. So that is done. Oh, I just found this in my box and I forgot that in my previous video I was going to try to use this strap because it's a nice handle and this pink goes with brown so well. But what I found is it was going to be super hard and it was going to make the opening even narrower. So I decided against it because the opening is just too narrow. But this would have been a great handle. So I'm just going to get a different strap to put on this. I forgot about the handle though. I did mention that in my last video. Okay, next, my good friend Cassandra at Craftably Ever After is doing a crochet along, a mal, a make along. It's Bear in a Box, Cal or Bear in a Box Mal 2025. And she is giving you a free pattern every week, I believe. I'm not sure, but I will link the video where she talks about it. But I will leave a link to her blog. I made the bear. That was the first pattern. We need our bear for Bear in a Box crochet along or mal, make along. And she's going to be giving us lots of free patterns of all the accessories to go with Little Bear. And I just think that's so cute. So here's mine. He has one arm just a little stuffed more than usual than the other one. And she provides the pattern if you want your bear to be able to sit, or if you want it to just stand. She has it to where it's just solid. I much prefer a sitting bear. Oh, he's so cute. Now there's been a pattern change on the muzzle, but I actually think the muzzle that it came with, even though it's small, it worked fine for me. And I always have a hard time stuffing. And so right here is just a little narrower than this side. And then I had a hard time deciding because he can go this way or he can go this way. And I was like trying to figure out which side looks better. I couldn't decide. And then once I thought I decided, I was like, wait, is this the right side or that's the right side? I forgot which one I picked. But either way you pick, it's just gonna be adorable. I don't know, there's something about this pattern that got me all in the feels. I just got all sentimental about it. So I really love this little bear pattern. It's so, so cute. Those little wide hips, so adorable. So we're going to be getting lots of patterns for this little bear for free. Join this crochet along and join in on the fun. I'm sure she's going to have a blog all about it. And I think she's even doing a giveaway. But so, so cute. And I did do the ears evenly, but one came out smaller than the other because that's just how I roll. That's just how I hook. Thankfully, the legs came out just fine. I just love it. So, so cute. I'm so glad she did this because this little bear is just adorable. Okay, so join in on the fun if you want to do this crochet bear along. Crochet in a box. Now, I have one more amigurumi for you. I showed you a little preview in last video, and it comes from this book. I really like this book, but the patterns are very different. So let's just take a look at this one. Look at this little guy and this big guy. I don't even know what kind of animals they are. So that's why it's just a little weird. And I can't tell. It just says Albert and Anna, a globe-trotting couple who travel the world in search of new adventures. So it doesn't even tell me what animals they are. What animals do you think they are? Are they dogs? I don't know. Do they have tails? Can't see them. Wait, is it in the pattern? Arms, ears, nose. Nope. No tails. Wait, let me see. One more page. Nope, no tails. So, what are these creatures? Okay, but that's not what I made. I made this little guy. Now, this is because I was trying to finish some yarn from this bag. So I had like a good portion of it left. So this only took one ball of yarn. I only had one, and I still had a good portion left, and it's probably a DK weight. And so I went looking through my books, and I just decided on this one. I have no idea, maybe because I just thought he would look good in those colors. So I don't know. And then I would cover him with the rest. And here's what he came out like. So this cute little hedgehog. What do you think? Oh, he's so funny. He's so funny. So funny. So I made all these little guys, made all these little things separately and sewed each one of them on. Please read your pattern first. would have saved me so much trouble, and he would have came out probably way more cuter, because she says to start from the back and work forward when you're attaching them. But since she said start at row 18, or that's where these should begin, I went this way. I started here and went back, and I'm like, well, how is this supposed to be? You know, if I sew these on, how am I supposed to stick these on? So I only sewed the tips, and then I was sticking the other ones behind it, and it was really hard to do. And then I'm like, well, how am I supposed to sew this part on when these are two different colors, and I don't want the other color showing through the other little porcupine little things. So when I read a little further after I was done, it says to start at the back and go forward. I was like, oh, that would have been great. That would have been very good to know. Read your patterns first. There's another example of don't just start, read your pattern. But here we go. So this again is trying to finish the yarn from yarn I had picked out for my son's granny square shorts. Like I was saying, I was doing a bunch of different samples for him in colors, and these were yarns that I had picked for that. So it's a very thin weight cotton, and so I'm trying to use them up. So there we go. That is the little porcupine. And so I haven't finished sewing these front ones because I needed to pull out the yarn again. But I did show this in my book. What is that book's? Amigurumi book tag, where you show all your books. And so I did go through this one. And that is one that I have done, and I really loved making that. Super simple, ton of stitches, just no thought, hardly any decreases. And look, there's that couple again. What animals are they? You let me know. Okay, so I did go through this. If you want to see that, I'll link that down below as well. I do have a couple of books for you. If you are wanting them, let me know. Email me. I'll have my email link down below. These are 2 books that I have extras of. And I don't think I want to put them on Etsy, and I really don't think Facebook Marketplace is the place to post them. So I'm going to ask my friends out here in YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. This book, I can't do it. And I don't want to do it. So being in my cleaning mood, these are some books that I need to get rid of. And this is the Amigurumi Toy Box. And here are all the patterns. I believe I show this one in my book, Amigurumi book tag as well. So we have all these little characters and robots and a cactus, cute little bears and lions, and then these little people. I really like the bear pattern and the elephant, but I just don't want to spend the work. So this is done in this type of, what's it called? Pattern writing. And I just don't want to do the work. I don't want to figure it out. Apparently these are symbols that are universal, but it's just not what I'm used to, and I just don't want to think that hard about it. They have a little weenie dog in here. It's super cute. If you are interested in this book, you know how to read crochet symbols, let me know, and we'll work out a deal. This is another book that I have extras of. I already have this book, but this book is very challenging as well. I had a hard time with it. I don't remember why, but these dolls look like animals. So they're dolls that look like animals. Now, if you are, I'm sure Cassandra could figure this out. I'm sure Julie could figure this out. My crochet friends. Stitchity Doodle totally can do this and had no problem. There's a lot of clothes patterns in here for the animal dolls. I saw this cover and I was like, yes, I want this. Now, I have this book already, and I bought one, and then I bought another one, or they sent me another one because the other one never showed up, and then finally it did show up after I ordered it again. When I ordered it again, I got this at like $4, $3, and it was very cheap, but it has a sticker on it. So if you don't care about that sticker, I'm not going to try and rip it off. You can totally rip it off. I mean, it's a smooth cover, so you could probably gunk it off, but I'm not going to mess with it. Let me know and we'll work out a deal. If you want these 2 books or one of these books, they're just too hard for me. Too much work. Okay, I have one more make. I actually have finished quite a few other things, but I'm not going to fit it in this video. But this is the Itty Bitty Sewing Box, Itty Bitty Bags. So cute. These zippers I get on Amazon. I like them because they have this big circle, so you can easily close them. And this little pattern is so cute. Great for little iPads, hooking onto your bags, hooking onto backpacks. It's not a lined bag, but you sew it to where everything is secure. I like these little bags. So this is just regular cotton, and I was using some fancy quilting stitches. This was like a practice piece, and then I turned it into an itty bitty box. So I made that. This will probably be like a gift. But see, this is exactly the kind of thing that could fit your candies, coffees, teas, fruit, cookies. Now I have tied a ribbon on the jar lid before, and that looks super cute. But I do make them to where they come off so that way they can be washed or recycled, or maybe they don't want it, or maybe this needs to be washed. So I make them in cotton and make them to be able to slip off. But tying a little ribbon will be cute to keep the lid on. I mean, this thing isn't on so tight that you can't like open your jar with the cap on, with the little lid on. So yeah, there we go. That is all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe. Talk to you soon. Bye.